Welcome to Chapter 2, Part 1. So we'll learn about some word parts that are really related to medical specialties. So we've learned that the words tend to come in little parts, and we put them together like puzzle pieces. So you have this example where you have appendo, which is a combining form and means appendix, and then ectomy is your suffix, and it means the surgical removal of the appendix. But because ectomy starts with an E, you don't need to use that vowel. So it flows really nice. Appendectomy. Appendoectomy would be weird to say, so you don't need to use the O. So a lot of these combining forms, also known as word roots, are about the body and different parts of the body. So you have ophthalmo is eye, naso and rhino is nose, thoraco is chest, thoraco, abdomino is abdomen, spondylo and vertebro is spine, and then my picture's covering it up, but there's something pointing to the hand, and it's chiro, C-H-I-R-O, and that means hand. And that's like a chiropractor. While we might think they're a back specialist, they're actually a specialist in using their hands to treat people. So that's why they're a chiropractor. So specialist is always going to end with the suffix er or ist, one who does something. A practitioner, meaning they've gone to medical school, is an iatrician. So you'll hear like pediatrician, or obstetrician. Iatrics and iatry is a medical profession, so it's like psychiatry. They went to medical school. A logist is one who studies or a specialist. So you can study anything and be a specialist. You can be an arborologist. That would be one who studies trees. Logy is the study or the science of, so biology, study of life. Logic and logical is pertaining to the study of, so biological sciences, sciences that study life. So at the end of a lot of words as a suffix, you're going to see these two little letters a lot of the times, or sometimes four, which is two of them together. And they usually mean pertaining to. So an example would be if you have cardio, and we know that the cardio combining form means heart, then you add the AC at the end of it. You have cardiac, means pertaining to the heart. So neural is using that AL pertaining to the nerve. Gastro means stomach, so that ick at the end means pertaining to the stomach. And then this says dermatological to show those four letters together, the ick and the al together, and that's pertaining to the study of the skin. So other professions might be a specialist in the heart, cardiologist, or the study of the heart, cardiology. Crin means to secrete, so this is kind of a stretch. You have endo that can be used as a prefix, which means inside, and then crin is your, or crino is your combining form. So if you have endocrine system or endocrinology, the study of secretion inside, and that's like inside the body. So secretion of hormones. Dermato is skin, so dermatologist. Aesthesio means sensation. So an as a prefix means not. So anesthesio would be no sensation. And then ologist is your specialty, or logy is your study of. So that's like an anesthesiologist is a specialist in no sensation. So they remove the sensation from someone when they're about to have surgery. Gastro means stomach. Entero can also mean stomach, or the gastrointestinal system. It really means more intestines. And then geronto, that's like the elderly people. So geriatrics would be people who specialize in treating elderly. Gyneco means female, and this is the biological, like female parts, that like someone who's born with a vagina, and someone who has like the uterus and the cervix and the ovaries. It's nothing to do with gender identity when we use the term female in this science field. So a gynecologist is the specialist in those reproductive organs. Immuno is the immune system. Immunology is study of the immune system. They're studying right now like all the antibodies and see if we're building up immunity to COVID. Nerve, the word root is neuro, so neurology is the study of the nerves. Obstetro means midwife directly, so a midwife is someone who takes care of those who are giving birth and like helps someone give birth. So you'll usually see a medical specialist who's an obstetrician and a gynecologist. So you might hear someone say, I'm going to my OB or I'm going to my gyno, or they'll say my OB/GYN. Onco is tumor, so oncology, the study of tumors, usually pertaining to cancerous tumors. Orthopedics, so if we directly translated that, ortho actually means straight. If you think of orthodontist, donto means teeth, straightening of the teeth, orthodontist. Ped, it means child, but it also means foot. And so orthoped literally means straightening of the feet, but that doesn't make much sense. Well, back in the day, this medical profession's job really was to like break the bones of someone, set them, and make them straight if you were born with crooked feet. Well, I think Forrest Gump, that kind of doctor that he went to, if you saw that movie, it's old, but I recommend it. Now these are specialties in bones, joints, and muscles. Ophthalmo, we talked about as an eye, so ophthalmologist is your eye doctor. Orthopedist, we just talked about. Pedo does mean child, also means foot. Oto is ear, so an otologist is going to be your ear doctor, or ear specialist. Laryngo is your larynx, which is your voice box, your throat. Patho is disease, so pathologists are working really hard right now to see how COVID works. You have neo and nato. So neo means birth, neo means new, neo. Nato means birth. So neonatal unit in a hospital is the new birth or the newborn section. Psycho, the word combining form means mind, so a psychologist studies the mind. Radio is radiation, so radiology department, that's where you get your x-rays. Rheumato is rheumatism. It's close to like your joints. If you think of rheumatoid arthritis, it's like a inflammation thing that can sit in your joints. We won't talk a lot about that in this unit. Rhino means nose, uro means urinary tract. So here's a big word for you. You have 4 combining forms and you have your medical specialty. So what could oto, rhino, and laryngo mean? I always remember rhino means nose because I think of rhinos and they have a big horn on their nose. So oto, nose, and laryngo is your larynx, your voice box, your throat. So your ear, nose, and throat specialist. Anesthesiologist, we kind of talked about already. It's the removal of that sensation. Psychologist and our psychology and psychologist we mentioned. Epidemiologist directly translate. So epi as a prefix means among. Demos means people. Ologist is your specialist. So it doesn't really just mean you're a specialist among people or of people among each other. They're actually studying disease transmission among people. They're also doing a lot right now, seeing if our masks work, seeing how COVID is spread so that we can prevent it. And then therapist, so therapo actually just means healing. So a therapist is pertaining to healing. So you have your physical therapist, so it's pertaining to healing of the physical body. You have your mental therapist or psychological therapist. They're dealing with healing of the mind. And that is it for the chapter so far. This is a list of all the words you're going to make your flashcards for and become experts in.